You will not fly to Geneva. Geneva will fly to Boya. International diplomacy is not for the weak. It's not for those who experiment. It's not for those who conjure, who are uncertain. It's not for those who think it can give you a sense of legitimacy. It's for the defiant, those who show tact, knowledge, depth of knowledge in what they are doing. International diplomacy in the resolution of conflict is for the powerful. It's not for the weak. We do not ask our people to defend themselves. We do not ask you to arm the people because we are warmongering. It's to protect the lives of the Ambazonian people against a tyranny that believes that it can wipe us using the crime of genocide. To protect our dignity so we can gain respect as people who can stand up against those who rob them of sleep and dignity. It's against a system that has given you nothing else than pain and suffering. It is also to show the international system that we can't rely on you. You who betrayed us. You who stood by the regime by providing economic support. You who has been signing oil deals, exploiting our resources to push forward an agenda of occupation of our homeland. We can't rely on the same systems that believe in the status quo. Peace and security at our expense for international transactions. Arming our people is to also show that we are ready to sacrifice for what is ours. No one is going to sacrifice for you. By showing that desire, that determination, you gain the respect and admiration from others. It's not by crying, it's not by mourning, it's not by deputating, sending letters of appeal. It's by flexing your muscles and being able to challenge the same system that has taken over your own right of existence. That's why we ask you to arm the people. I know most of you think there are a lot of things happening that leaders are quarreling, there is no unity and stuff. No, that's wrong. As I responded to my learned brother the other day, those who prescribe unity as the solution to your independence were wrong. Totally wrong. Strategy is the solution to independence. Let me tell you, if somebody comes in tomorrow and gives you $5 million US and say, go get guns, what do you need a yaba for? Do you need the opinion of Bo Herbert? You don't. If you have the strategy, you go forward. The only time unity is quintessential is prior to victory. Because post-independence reconstruction stability depends on your ability to move together as a people. Once you achieve victory as a people, there is a high sense of tolerance from the people to a sitting government. Because it will not simply be sunshine immediately after independence. There will be some difficult periods of transition. And a happy people, a satisfied people who've gotten victory as a people will understand, tolerate, and support and sacrifice. Unity is good, but you should not conflate unity for uniformity. Diversity is beautiful too. People fighting in their own lane like different arms of government, the legislature, the judiciary, the press, and the executive, working without confrontation, will still achieve the same result as one body. So when we replace strategy with unity, conflated collaboration with conformity, we lost our track. We made many people's spirit to become dampened because the only thing they saw when we had setback was if we were united. No. If the guys had the gun, what will stop the Alabukam Brigade from overrunning Bamenda in 20 days if you give them 500 AK? Because some Ayaba or some Sako are not united? It's not going to happen. So you have to understand how revolutions work. You have to understand how victory is achieved. And the moment you have that understanding, setbacks will come. But your ability to adjust when there are setbacks is what makes losers and winners. Losers are those who sit in times of setbacks and they are mourning, complaining, blaming. Winners are those who know how to circumvent setbacks, turn tragedies into victories, omissions into commissions, every setback into an investment for progress. And that's why I want to talk about Fako. My people, I know I've been talking for too long, but permit me talk. This is the new year, and so let me cover a lot of ground. Now, first let me thank my brother, Bosco. They call him Baramak. He says he's the godfather of the revolution. You can't take it away from him. But thank you for supporting the project to arm Fako, and Barrister Tumasang, and even Mr. Eric Tato. You have others, my staff and wonderful people. The great support we've received from across the board. Now let me assure the people of Fako this. I lived my life in Fako. Let me tell you something. Our main compound is in Fako. It's in Fako. When my father left World War II, he settled in Fako. That's how we grew up. My brothers went to boys' school, girls' school. I went to RCM Newtown. I lived there. My father worked at the hospital. I think a night watch man at the hospital. The General Hospital Victoria. In 1996, when we had formed the SCYL, my base was Victoria. I had to mobilize Victoria to defend Victoria. I had to identify every military base of Cameroon within Victoria for our purposes of self-defense. I remember vividly at Down Beach, I worked with 5 Ambazonian soldiers. One of them is of late. May his soul rest in peace. I recruited them. That was 1996. They ferried me in a military truck. I entered that military truck as though I was going to do farming in Manawa Bay. But I was going to find out how Manawa Bay is. And I entered Manawa Bay with 2 of us. Looked at it well. Be able to look at it to secure it. I moved from there, going down to Ngeme. I looked at Monkey Hill, the anti-aircraft battery around Sokolo, not Sokolo. As you are entering Ngeme, from the top, the hill that you drive down into Ngeme, on the left side going in, you have the anti-aircraft battery. I went in there. There were 3 of them. So when I talk about Fako, I talk about Fako because of my love and passion for Fako. Because we raise brave soldiers in Fako. It's because I believe in the people of Fako. You know, I come from Mancon. Let me explain a couple of things. I come from Mancon. Mancon is the replica of Fako. They call the Bakwarians. When they talk about the Bakwarians, and you talk about Mancon, Mancon people are the opposite of the Bakwarians in the northern states. Because they are cosmopolitan. And that's why I've always defended. Because there are many people from the northern states that settled within Fako and in other parts of the southern states. I've helped develop it. And the hospitality of the people of the southern state has been extremely wonderful. If you consider the number of hundreds of thousands of people from different parts that set up home there. And that's why I've always defended them. When you live as a cosmopolitan, that's why when they say when you hear statement like Bakure, people are lazy, I say that's stupid, and I explain why. When you leave from the northern states and you come down and you pick up a job in CDC, it's easy for you to do that job. And when the person who lives in that community refuses to do that job, you might think that they are lazy. But I want you to look at it this way. When you leave Ambazonia and come into Europe, it's easy for you to do any kind of job because that's not your space. And you turn around also and think that maybe the Europeans are lazy, the Americans are lazy. No. It's because it's easy for you who has left your own homeland to pick up any kind of job anywhere and do it, to secure the welfare of your own people than the people living in that place. That's why we live down there and you have Chadians coming down and repairing shoes, walking around, Nigerians doing all sort of jobs that we could not do. It's a natural phenomenon that when you move to a distant place, you feel like you don't have so much pride to protect. And I think that my desire to arm Fako stems from my love for Fako and the strategic importance of Fako in our war of independence. We controlled Fako. We launched operations within our capital. We could move from our capital down right up to Mai 4. We could control the Mai 17 axis. We ran the axis from Mai 17 right up to Munya, going to Ekona, Muyoka, right up to Meme. Because we had secured that axis using the core peripheral strategy. Disruption, forward intel, and impeding. Fako is weakened. It's a reality, and I am ready to have a discussion with others. I know my staff will be talking to others operating there. I want us to work together there. Our capital state is critical for all of us, and we should not see it as a place of conflict amongst us. We should see it as a place to test our ability to collaborate, to undermine the regime's presence for the interests of the Ambazonian people. And so I will be reaching out to have a discussion with all those who are operating there so that we can test our ability to collaborate as elections are coming up in February. Please, if you are listening to me, stop clicking like, stop clicking love. I've asked my staffs, my comrades, to put up the donation link for Fako under this message. Please stop for a while. Go on that link, put $5, each of you, 10, 5, 20. Let me tell you what I see. We've lost a lot of brave commanders along that axis. Cameroon has been working extremely very hard to undermine our presence within that axis, to use it for two purposes. Don't forget, even as we strive for independence, you still have very gullible Ambazonians, weak Ambazonians, who doubt, is it going to happen? What La République is trying to do is to use examples of our defeat in certain areas to show the people within that area that we can be defeated, and to show people within other areas that are still under our control that we can be defeated. It has a ripple effect, a very dangerous effect, a very dangerous psychological impact on the psyche of our resistance. And so sometimes when I turn my focus on a particular area, it is not because our strategy has changed. We will gain recognition even without static control of any part of our territory if we successfully delegitimize, undermine Cameroon's ability to control and exercise the powers of governance. For them, Fako is strategic. Use Fako as an example. They have tried that with Manu. They are pushing hard. We are countering. In the past days, we have put materials in Manu. I wouldn't go further. The strategy for us is not because we want to absolutely control the state, we want to absolutely control those areas. It is to be able to undermine Cameroon's ability to exercise political governance and exploit resources. There is a strategy in place. I call it core peripheral. It's a tactics within the Python strategy. Please, arms is the only answer to the intransigence of Yaoundé. Arms is the response to the nonchalant attitude of the international system. Click on that donate button and put materials into Fako. In less than 7 weeks, Cameroon has called for elections within the mighty state of Ambazonia, the land of the Kuva Lekenyes, of the brave warriors gone and alive. A system that will provide them with economic assistance has the audacity to call for elections in our country. It's a test of nerves. We are the don't blink generation. We have to make sure there is no single vote cast. We have to delegitimize the system once more and write their obituary in the last chapters of our own history. From the 7th of February until the 12th, those are the dates that all the defense groups have agreed on. All the leaders have been consulted. The 7th to the 12th, the entire Ambazonia will be in lockdown. Our defense forces will be out. Our population should block the entire country. Wherever you are, stones, trees, whatever you can do. I call on all the communities in the diaspora to support your various communities at home to make sure at this time the entire country is blocked. As I said the other day, all humanitarian activities except emergency services dealing with the wounded, Red Cross vans, all others will stop for that period. All foreign embassies in Ambazonia closed down. All foreign nationals, you will be safe, stay indoors. Respect the laws of the land. We must provide enough materials for Fako and Mayon to a certain extent to give us a 100% victory. What will this victory mean? I know the international system has said, and we know that from different sources, let us wait and see how the elections go, and we'll know our next moves. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. This cat and mouse game has to come to an end. The international system has to be bold. Overthrow Mr. Biya, replace him with someone who understands the gravity of the crisis and who is able to negotiate Cameroon's exit from Ambazonia. All this hanky-panky, the impact on trade, on international peace and security, and domestic policies of different countries based on the movement of people across borders will hit everyone, the same way the Syrian crisis hit the shores of Europe. Resolving the Ambazonian crisis, granting Ambazonia recognition as an independent state, helping it set up a transitional authority that can provide security, get schools to return, is critical for stability in the Gulf of Guinea and for international peace and security. So my people, the implications of our victory in February are high. It will show once more that Ambazonia has risen to fall no more. Ambazonians are in charge. That the overwhelming population of Ambazonia have rejected Cameroon. It will force the hand of the international system to change course and to become more engaged in a way that will resolve the crisis, ending with independence for our country. The world should know, as I said last time, if the Magna Carta was good for the Brits, it is also good. Independence is also good for Amazonia. If people rose up and stormed the Bastille and instituted the Declaration of the Right of Man, if that was good for the French, independence and all its attributes is good for the Amazonians. That the first country in the continent of Africa that upheld the virtues and values of democracy, tolerance, transparency, accountability, to be allowed to be annexed to one of the most corrupt, decadent, misguided, autocratic political system in the continent, it's not an affront only to the Ambazonian people. It's an affront to the very values, the virtues for which millions of people have laid their lives to institute. The right to be free, to have a democratic pluralism based on the virtues of tolerance and compromise, to have a government for the people, by the people, that exploit resources for the interests of the people. That is why Ambazonians took to the streets. That is why they've risen up in arms to defend. You must see us as a partner in the protection of these ideals. You must see us as a partner for peace, a partner for stability, a partner for justice. The basis for the resolution of the Ambazonian conflict must be based on truth and justice. Any artificial solution will fail the same way it failed in 1961, failed in 1972, failed all over the years of political liberalism. Any solution that does not factor the truth and justice for the Ambazonian people, that translates into independence, into freedom, is cosmetic, will be rejected, will be resisted. We shed our blood for a free homeland, to remember the heroism of all those who have died before us, to preserve the memories of children born, yet unborn, shattered, lives shattered, scattered across the world, struggling on a daily basis to provide for their families, locked down under anarchy of a system that has provided us nothing but hate and contempt. For the millions of us living out here in exile, our lives are intertwined with the lives of those who can't go to school, those who strive on a daily basis to stay alive, to stay afloat, battling with soldiers of the enemy, insisting on instituting an alien rule over them. For all those who on a daily basis carry their guns to defend freedom, they are doing so because they know that millions before them across the globe, their great-granddads were exported across shores to defend freedom when it was threatened in Europe, to defend it when it was threatened in Japan. when warriors stormed beaches, regiments landed behind enemy lines. They risked their life for something so real and tangible, so rewarding. That is an ideal that our generation is prepared to lay our lives to achieve. Let the world know Ambazonia as a state has to be recognized. Let Cameroon know that this generation will turn back Cameroon into the Stone Ages if it does not pack and leave. And to all of you locked up in the jails of Cameroon, you are heroes. You should know every day you get up. For us out here, we will fight everywhere to make sure you are not only free, but that you return to a homeland which is free. All the families who have lost loved ones, their memories will forever be engraved in the psyche of the Ambazonian history. To all the soldiers, be reminded, your sacrifices will not go in vain, and that we will pass legislation that will grant every Ambazonian soldier who fights free education, free professional training, free health care for as long as they live. And for all those who have died, their children, their families will receive the benefit of their sacrifices. For you who sacrifice for us, for our freedom, to defend it, to protect our integrity, we don't take it lightly. And that the new nation will remember you, will remember your sacrifices, celebrate your heroism, and that we must continue to battle, even in the face of seeming chaos. Be reminded, we are here today because you turn a blind eye, you close your ears to the intrigues and manipulations of a few who think they could hoodwink our cravings for a free homeland to serve themselves. We are mere mortals with our own fallibilities, with our own weaknesses. I want you to project our strength, project the goodness in us, talk about the beauty in us, the love in us, the ability for us as an untrained people to bring our forces together to defend the ideals of freedom, to fight across different European capitals, raise consciousness, arouse the consciences of Europeans and Americans across the globe to believe in the ideals of freedom that is good for the Ambazonian people. That shows the strength of the Ambazonian people. It shows that we are together, that as far as the objective for which we sacrifice are concerned, we are one. Like every people, like every family who have our differences, the goodness in us will not be determined by those differences. They will be determined by our ability to turn those differences into commonalities, to turn valleys into bridges, to be able to look at the overall good, to be able to look at the overall objective and bury some of those hatchets, rise up like one people under oppression, facing the same destiny to write their own story with their own voice and their own blood, so that the next generation will know we did it for them. We died for them. We went to jail for them. We were brave enough to withstand the manipulation of the international system. We were brave enough to see the intrigues of the international system. We were savvy enough not to blink in the face of the domestic political manipulations of a tyranny across our border. And that our freedom will be a torchbearer that will shine beyond our own shores and give Cameroonians themselves the bravery to rise and change their own destiny. This is the generation that can give Africa hope. Don't lose it. God bless you all. Good night and Happy New Year.
Thank God for sending somebody like you to us who will